Alright, so I finished the book sleeves. I took some images that I did in Midjourney, and I grabbed some Sublimation kitchen towels from Hobby Lobby, and I put the images on that. This is one of them. This one I printed out full sheet 8.5 by 11, but I didn't put a seam allowance on it. I just sewed it up like it was. So I think I'm going to put a seam allowance on the next one that I do, that I print the full sheet. Because my problem with these are that they're too small to fit a book. Maybe a little book they might fit. I'm not sure. I think I have a little book over here. Yeah, so this is like a really little book. I can't even tell you what size this book is. And it fits in here. But when I think of, and even this is a snug fit. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a snug fit. Some people say that the small Kindle can fit in here. So I guess that's, I think my sister has a Kindle, so I'll try it when I see her. But yeah, this one is small, and it's even smaller than this one. I feel like the screen is so dark. But this one isn't as tall as this one, but they're pretty much the same width. So this one I printed, I think 8 by 10. I think that's what I chose as the size on my printer. And then I did add a seam allowance onto this one. So they are taller, but they're not wider. So I'm going to try the 8.5 by 11, and then put a seam allowance, a 1/2 inch seam allowance on both sides, and see if it'll make it a little wider, because it won't fit my tablet. Like this is a 10-inch tablet, it won't fit. You know, you can use these for anything, so it's not a total bust, but I can't promote these as book sleeves if the books don't fit. I will have to promote these as like small book sleeves, and then just put what size books and show a picture of the size book that would fit in here. So that's this one. Hopefully you can see it. I feel like the screen is very dark. And then this one. This is my favorite, I believe. Yeah, I really like it. And the same images on both sides. Also another thing, my lining. I did sew the lining smaller. But it still kind of bunches a little bit, I think. I'll see if I can bring it. Still kind of bunches a little bit here. And then I put the opening on the side so you can see, y'all can't see that, but you can see like the opening, not the, you know, the sewed up opening here. And I could just be nitpicking, because we are our hardest critics. The lining does lay down better in the last 3 than it did in the first one, because the first one I just kind of sewed up. It's so dark. I just kind of sewed up, you know, everything as is. I'm keeping this for myself because I like it. And I just throw random stuff in mine and just drop them in my book bag. I didn't put any closures on them because I didn't want it to mess up the, you know, like the hairstyle or whatever. But yeah, I love them. It's just that they're small. Like I said, I need to figure out what actually can fit in here and promote them that way. I need to do this sooner rather than later. Someone told me that, I showed y'all that one already. Somebody told me that March is reading month. So, and this one, she's sitting on top of a stack of sitting on a stack of books, reading a book. I don't know if it's dark on your end, but it just looks dark on my end. But I love all three. Love, love, love all three of them. I'm going to take pictures, I think, and put them on the screen. Trying to cover my face. Get all three in here. But I love, love, love them. This does take time with the sublimation. So I have to pick a day where I can do the sublimation and get it done. Because this took me, I did the sublimation, I think, Monday or Tuesday. And then it took, I didn't do anything else until Saturday. And I think I started on these at maybe around 4 on Saturday. And I didn't finish till 8 o'clock. And I still didn't finish because I didn't do the top stitching until, not Saturday, Friday. I cut everything, cut the interfacing, sewed them up, and then Saturday morning I did the top stitching around all of them. So, like I said, on Friday I started around 4 and I finished around 8. So it took that long because I had to cut them, do the interfacing. And I don't usually do interfacing for the linings, but I felt like this lining, oh, it's so dark. I felt like the lining was kind of thin, and it needed interfacing. But I don't know. But I'm also going to, I don't know how much shorter or smaller to cut the lining. So let me know in the comments. I don't have actual measurements for these. Like I said, the sublimation I believe I printed 8 by 10, and then I added a 5-inch seam allowance on, the 2 sides and the bottom. On the top, I added about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So whatever that is. And then I cut the lining. I just used this as a template to cut the lining. But I sewed the lining about, I used a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this, and then I sewed the lining about 3/4 of an inch. But it still feels like there's a lot of fabric just kind of bunched in here for the lining. So let me know what you do. I know I bought patterns and they had like a dotted line for the lining on their patterns, and that was about 1/2 inch smaller. But again, I'm feeling like there's a lot of fabric on the inside of this that you can see, especially where I closed up the opening in the lining. Like, that is just kind of poking out. But I like these. Maybe I should do a giveaway. But yeah, I really, really like these. They are really, really nice. But I have got to figure out how to make them just a little bit wider, because it's about 1 inch off of the books that I was trying to put in there. In the width, it's about 1 inch off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to wait a long time to get this done. So today is Saturday where I'm filming this right here. So maybe tomorrow, Sunday, I can get the sublimation done and cut out, cut out the lining and cut out the interfacing. Maybe. We'll see how I feel when I wake up. I haven't been feeling the greatest this week, which is why I didn't do it this week, because I have a class from Monday through Thursday from 10:15 to 12:10, and then my next classes aren't until 6 p.m. So I had a lot of time in between my classes, but I did not feel good this week. Also, have a huge surprise for y'all, but I gotta wait till I'm back at mommy's before I tell y'all, or before she tells you. One of us will tell you. It's a great surprise. So, yeah, I want to start to ramble here in a minute, but let me know what you think about these. I love them. I just need to figure out how to make them. They have uses. I just don't know for what yet. Like I said, smaller books can fit. Someone said a Kindle can fit. So we'll see. I just have to test it with my sister's Kindle. But they have uses. They could be sold. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let me know in the comments what you think, what I can do about making the lining smaller. I think that was the only thing. All right. I'll see you in the next video.